everyone, and welcome once again to Tee Vee. I'm Karen, the accountability coach, and I'm really pleased to be welcoming you for another episode. Week on week, we've had some very interesting guests, and I hope that these series have not only been interesting to you, but educational, that you've been learning something, picking up on little droplets of knowledge that you can use to build your business or carry your business along, or to probably correct some mistakes, or maybe it would have been something that helped you to take that one step further. Because this is why Tee Vee is here. Tee Vee is here for you to promote your business, to offer you educational tips, and to give you a free platform that you can come on and talk about what it is that you do. So whether it is a business, whether it is a project, if you are a church with a charitable project or an activity that you want others to know about, come on to Tee Vee. Get in touch with me, Karen Reeves Toppin, keyinspirations@gmail.com, and we will get right back to you, book you a slot on the show. We're waiting for you because this is here for you. Now, this week, I'm really excited. I know every week I say I'm excited, and I'm sure you're probably tired of hearing me say, she's excited again. But I can't tell you the level of excitement that I actually have, and maybe you can't see it on my face, but my stomach is just turning over with the excitement of the guest that I have with me this week. I met this young lady probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and we had a conversation. We had a chance to converse about business when I was looking to chart my own path along the lines of self-employment. And the way in which she spoke, the level of professionalism that she exuded, also her personal story along the way, how she managed to get into business and how she has not just survived, but thrived and built an almost near empire. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome to the show, and I am so pleased to be presenting to you the founder, the director of Insight to Marketing, and numerous other projects that she has started since then, Miss Vee Roberts. Vee, come into the room.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I am doing very, very well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm so pleased that we could actually get you on the show. I believe that today is going to be one of those shows where people listen and they get tired making notes, because every time you talk, there's always these droplets of wisdom. So how have you been, Vee? Tell us how it's been with you through the pandemic.
It's been good. It's been an exciting time for me because, as you may know, I've launched the new look website, insighttomarketing.com, and I've also been navigating different types of ways of working with my clients. So I've always had an online business. I've always done coaching online as well. And one of the things that I've really enjoyed during the pandemic, if I could say enjoyed, is connecting with even more people and building my online community using the channels I was already on, but just building and growing and expanding on that. So it hasn't been too bad. I think the bit I've struggled with, if I'm honest, is the homeschooling. That has been really, really tough because I've got 2 under 8s and two over 18s and two under 8s, and all 4 of them have demanded my time and attention this pandemic. So yeah, it's that part of it. The parenting part has been quite hard.
That must be quite a serious juggling act, with 2 under 8 and 2 over 18, and then there's that big gap. So the 2 under 8, I imagine, will be a little bit more demanding than the 2 over 18, but there is still just the one you.
Yeah,
Oh, that's amazing. Well, you don't look any worse than the wear for it. I mean, I've seen some memes and so on coming up with parents saying they've got so much respect for teachers now that they have to do the homeschooling.
I always have had, to be honest, because I really don't get enthused about teaching unless it's something that I love doing. And I really didn't like maths at school. I got a B in it at GCSE and it stopped there. I didn't want to do accounting. I didn't want to do mathematics GCSE. It stopped at mathematics A level. It stopped at GCSE level. I got my B and that was it. And I was in the higher group for maths as well. And then for the kind of general stuff, I'm very creative, so I really like to teach my children outside the box. So I was just looking for one of the books that I've been teaching them from, but I teach them things around history that perhaps isn't taught in school. I also teach them quite a lot around art. My son's doing an entrepreneur's course for 8-year-olds. Well, it's actually 8 to 17-year-olds, and he's really enjoying that. And then my daughter does art and drama online. So I'm always looking at ways to keep them busy, but it really has been hard. So respect to anyone, just whether they've got children or not. This pandemic has been serious.
Absolutely, it really has been.
Yeah.
I've spoken to numerous people that have struggled, and then there are others that have really thrived. But I'm very, very pleased to know that you've been able to craft some forms of being able to make it through. The entrepreneur's course for 8 to 17, that sounds like a very interesting thing. You might come back to that a bit later on.
No problem.
But talk to us about Insight to Marketing. How did you start? I want you to share a little bit of your story, because there's so many people out there, especially in the atmosphere that we have right now, where lots of people have either been furloughed, laid off, and finances seem to be, thin and growing thinner. But I want you to share your story, because I believe it's going to be a source of inspiration for someone who needs to hear it.
Okay, so basically I was actually a teen mum, so I had my first child shortly after doing that maths GCSE. And I signed up for college. I went to college. I then ended up doing my degree as a mature student, and other courses after that. But when I was actually younger, I was fascinated. Some of my first jobs as a teen mum were in sales, and I got my head turned on by the idea of marketing and branding and what makes people tick. Why do people actually want to buy? What makes them want to click buy now, find out more about product or service? And that was through me doing quite a lot of sales, telesales roles, and different roles for very well-known companies. I went on to my career as a marketing and branding manager at BT. I was fortunate enough after graduating to have gone through 2 rounds of applications and got onto their graduate marketing program. And from there is where my career really started as an employee. So I did that for 16 years. I went from BT to various other companies. The last company that I worked for, I finished up in a director role where I was actually leading on a massive campaign, took the borough of Croydon to Cannes for a massive property expo. Myself and 25 delegates and a team that I managed, we went over to Cannes and we basically put Croydon on the map in terms of their regeneration plans and everything that was going on. And I was the campaign manager behind that. And I also headed up quite a very big team: sponsorship manager, events manager, PR manager, and we got quite a lot of good press from that. Shortly after that, I was made redundant because they made an announcement that the Croydon Economic Development Company, which had just recently formed, was going to be merging with another company. And I wasn't to be part of that company, and neither were members of my team. So from there, I really was quite bewildered. I could describe it as being bewildered. I didn't really know what to do. Probably similar to a lot of your listeners and viewers. I was stuck. I was in a really tough place because I had commitments, I had financial responsibilities, and I really didn't understand how I could have been doing so well in that job. I'd given them my everything. I had my team. We were doing amazing. We had really, really good, rapport with community leaders, industry professionals, but they were letting us all go. And just to cut a long story short, I decided after several applications to jobs that I wasn't going to be an employee anymore. I didn't want to work for anyone anymore, because I'd actually had, even though I say I had a career of 16 years in branding and marketing, doing that as a campaign manager, as a brand manager, as a strategist, it was tough because as a woman of colour in a management role and being quite, not mouthy, but I'm someone that will challenge decisions made, and it could be a board director, it could be, a new investor. If something doesn't sit right with me, I'm going to challenge it, and I will always back it up with evidence. That's just me. That's how I am. I'm not a yes man or a yes woman person. I will look at things. I'm quite analytical. And so I decided, employee life isn't for me. And I started up my own business. That has basically been my story for the last 8 years. I've been in business for 8 years. It wasn't easy because I started on £100. Again, like a few of your listeners, I didn't have a big budget. I didn't have money for a coach. I could not qualify for a loan. I didn't have mummy and daddy, Bank of England, to help me. So basically, I was doing everything using the resources that I had. And it was tough. But with the resilience and the determination and also my faith, that is what pushed me through. Because I was able to withstand quite a lot of objections to be still where I am today.
And where you are today is actually it's such sure footing. You've gone on to lead the company to lead your business from that one, and you have now got different branches. So you've got
Yes.
the middle, and then you've got a sub here, a sub there, a sub
Yeah.
there. So you've got insight to marketing, and then you've got is it creative women?
No, I've got Super Women Connected, but that's kind of
Okay.
paused at the moment.
Okay.
Super Mamas Connected, which is for mums in business, parents and carers, or even people that make products and services for little people or mums. And then I've also got Inspire Your Biz, which is my kind of international retreat, and Insight to Social, which is my social media management part of the business, one of the busiest parts of my business. And then I've also got, you're probably aware of this, my brand and marketing planner, which is its own brand that's on Instagram, and that's my product that I brought out. It's now in its 4th edition. So yeah, I've got lots of different hats that I wear, but thankfully I've been blessed that I've now got a small team, and they do help me a lot in the back end. So it's gone from a small acorn, and I'm building it into a mighty oak tree.
But look at how quickly you have grown. You said you've been in business for 8 years. You started on your own, and now you've got a small team who are helping you to do this. Now, there's not many people who started a business on £100. 8 years later, they can say they have a small team that helps. What are some of the key things that you have done in order to build your business from where it was to where it is now?
Do you know what? That's a really good question, and I've never really looked at it like how you just said it. So thank you. I think I would say that one of the things I should have done a lot earlier was outsource and delegate. That's that for anyone listening, even from day one. I should have outsourced and delegate, because a lot of my time when I first started my business was spent doing admin. So my first 2 years of my business, I didn't have an accountant. Just as an example, I've now got an accountant that looks after all of my books and things like that. And that lifted a massive load. Also, as I was explaining to you before we started the show, I hate video editing. So a lot of my content that you see out on my YouTube channel, which is Insight to Marketing, is raw and unedited, because I didn't have time to do that. So one of the first things I would say is delegate and outsource what you cannot do or what you don't enjoy. Recognize where you've got potential weaknesses or areas for development, and learn, grow. It doesn't necessarily need money. Many people go onto YouTube, they watch my content, they'll watch other people's content, and they will learn and apply the tips. But I would say, in terms of the kind of entrepreneurial journey, recognize what your strengths are and do more of that. And that includes in terms of your marketing as well. Also, make sure that if you are building a business, you think about your brand. So what's your brand going to be? And think long term. It doesn't have to be set in stone, but I had a vision for my brand that, because I had expertise in delivering social media campaigns as my job at one stage, there was definitely going to be a social media management arm to my business. I also knew that I was going to be doing courses, because that's how I started my business, by doing mini training courses, although they were the wrong price, but that's another story. And also I just knew I had this vision. So over the years, I've just added on bits of my business that I believe need to now be in place, and I'm still building. I mean, the international retreat that I've done would have been in its 6th year in 2021, and again, that was an acorn, and it's grown to something where before I was in quite a pretty community hall in the Caribbean, and it then went on to being in a hotel that footballers' wives go to, and that's because I built a brand, I had a vision for my brand. So 3 quick tips would be: have a vision for your brand, don't be afraid to outsource, and also just understand what you're really good at, and have a plan so that you can focus on what you're good at, and give things to people that you're not so good at.
Wow. Okay. The part about outsourcing, I think, is the one that most people will struggle with, because when you've got a baby, it's yours.
Yes.
And you kind of begin to believe that no one can kind of do for the baby that you have what you can do for it. But it's a little bit like actually having a child. And but you're the one that needs to go out and go to work, which means that you've got to do something with the child. You have to take the child to nursery, or even after the child is past the nursery stage, they need to go to school.
Yes.
So it's things like that. We've got to take lessons from life and apply it to business.
Yeah.
And some things that we do for life, and we never think about transferring that information or that knowledge over to the business. Okay, you've gotten to this stage now where you have this international retreat. That's what it's called. It's an international retreat which you have, but you also train bigger organizations, and you have won some awards. Tell us about some of the awards that you've won, Vee.
Well, the very first one that I won was a Back to Black award, which was given to me in my first year of business as recognition of what I'd actually achieved in terms of giving to the community and contributing ideas. And then another really big one that I won just in 2019 was Be Mogul. That's it, Be Mogul, which recognized me as one of the UK's top 100 black entrepreneurs, as endorsed by Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, and various other influencers. I've won lots of other awards as well. You know, I've won awards from women's organizations. I've won an award in India from the Women's Economic Forum. And I've also won smaller awards. But do you know what? The recognition for me, I've always said from day one, it was never about the recognition for me. I'm someone who's more motivated by the results I can get for my clients and the transformation that my clients get. That's what gives me the buzz. And I know that some people say, oh, you know, you're really humble and that doesn't matter, you know, but actually what matters to me is seeing people change. And having someone that might come into contact with me, whether it's through a free video, whether it's through my free Facebook group, or even listening to my podcast and saying, Vee, I just listened to your show. I just read your article. And now I actually get it. In fact, someone said that to me yesterday. Someone said, Vee, you shared a tip about us contacting our customers that have lapsed or customers that used to trade with us. The lady said to me, two ladies, one of them is a very well-known skincare brand in London. I had a one-to-one with them yesterday, a couple, and they said, Vee, you shared that tip on a free live. We implemented it and we got 2 new one-to-one consultations booked and lots of people coming back onto our page. Another lady who just joined my membership group, Laura, she said, Vee, I watched your show. I went through my list of 60 names and I realized that I was not contacting people. She said, I contacted one lady and the lady said, wow, I hadn't heard from you for a while. I thought you'd gone out of business. And she then therein booked a session with her. So the little tips I give, when people tell me that those are helping them and they haven't paid me, you know, I mean, the couple that I worked with yesterday, the skincare brand, they'd actually won a prize that I gave away in the new year. So that also wasn't paid, but I just love to give tips. And I really do feel that really does outweigh any awards I've ever won. I have to be honest. The awards and the letters after my name, they don't mean much to me at all. And I don't want to discredit or downplay any of them because they're all valid and I'm glad that I've been nominated. But, you know, to me, it's about the transformation. That is my award, is the transformation that I get from my clients.
And to me, that is the mark of a true entrepreneur, someone who is in the business because they are passionate for what they do, but even more so, they're passionate to see the transformation that what they do can bring about in other people. It means that you've got heart. Yeah. So if your heart is in it, you will always be giving your best. Yeah. If it's only about getting the recognition, getting the accolades and getting the this and getting the that, at some point in time, you tend to become very demotivated because God knows I've seen it. People have become, they've gotten all of the awards, they've gotten all of the recognition, people
Yeah.
begin to talk about them and so on and so forth. And then, the quality of the content that they give, it begins to slip and slip and slip.
Dilutes. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
and it, as you say, it gets very diluted. It's really and it's not a good thing to see. And that of itself can then cause people to walk away from that particular brand and look for someone else to deal with. So that's another. You see what I mean about Vee talking and tips dripping?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would definitely agree with you. I did a live on Monday and I asked people just random, because when I do my lives on Instagram, I often just free flow.
Yeah.
And one of the questions I asked people was to think about their brand and how their brand is showing up and what their brand is representing online and offline. And then I went on to ask people, how do they see my brand? And some of the words that came up were genuine, consistent, caring, lots of useful tips, real. In fact, I screenshotted that on my Facebook page just yesterday. I screenshotted some of those comments, and it really got me thinking, because I think consistency is a big deal. And I think that point you made just now about there are characters, let's call them, that will start a business and a lot of their business isn't heart-centered. It's not being given from the core. It's not really what they want to do. And so you can see that because the message dilutes, the way in which they show up is inconsistent, and they're really only there for the money. But I can genuinely say that's never been my brand. And anyone that comes into contact with my brand knows that from day one. And that's why I do give the way that I give.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well done. Well done, Vee. All right. So we've gotten to the stage now where we want to talk a little bit about the products that you offer.
Yeah.
So you've spoken about your businesses, and I know you've got an amazing diary or plan. Sorry. It's not a diary. Sorry. It's a planner. But let's talk about some of the products that you offer.
Yeah. I mean, the main one I would definitely talk about now is the planner. It's this particular book. It's much thicker than the previous one, which was here, right? So they look and feel a lot different. And this one's £24 because it comes with workbook sections. So there's over 30 pages of workbook sections where you can go in and just fill out, information about your branding, your budget, what you're going to be doing. And then also you've got information in there that relates to, your monthly plans and also your weekly plans as well. And there's lots of things in here, key dates, over 300 different campaign ideas for the whole of 2021. And that's the main product I would say I would focus on if anyone was watching that might want to know more about what I do. That's a really great place to start. I've got free products as well. I've got lots of free products. I share the link to you if you want to share them, you can. But I've got one product that's free, which is giving tips for how to save time and money in your business, and that's based on my experience and some of the apps and tools that I've used, and that's free. It's a free download, doesn't cost a penny. I regularly run courses and training, so at the time of this particular session going out, I've got a 6-week coaching program that's going out. It's called the Bombastic Branding Program. So
wow,
you can join that.
Bombastic.
Yeah, bombastic brands, authentic brands that want to be more credible, want to attract quality clients and leads, and actually understand how to be visible without the overwhelm. And then I've got marketing planning programs and coaching programs, and of course my membership group. And other things coming out, but I won't bore you with that. People can check it out on the website, insighttomarketing.com. But my membership group is also what runs alongside this. And my membership group, for less than £12 a week, actually helps people to be coached and understand marketing and understand branding by working directly with me.
Nice. Absolutely nice. I've been a part of your marketing group. I think I had to leave at some point, but I've been a part of your marketing group, and the way you are in the group is not different at all to the way you are outside the group. The only difference is the amount of content that we actually get from you, and that we have access to you 24/7, 7 days a week, because we are in the group. So it may be worth looking at Vee's group to see if you are at the stage where. But one thing I have to say about Vee will work with you if you are ready. Readiness. You have to be ready. If you're not ready, don't come to play, because when it comes to your business, Vee wants you to go from where you are to where you should be. Another good thing about her that I can say is that once you have told her what your plan is, Vee can see a 5-year plan for you in 5 minutes. She can look at your plan and she can say, okay, this is what you can do. You can do this, you can take it here, you can take it there, or you can do this, that, these, and those. She really is a proper creative, a real visionary. This is Vee Roberts that I'm talking to you about. It's the reason why she has been in business for 8 years, why she has been able to develop a small team in just 8 years, and why she has been able to amass the awards and be celebrated as much as she has been. So if you're looking for someone to work with that will really push you, uh, get in touch with Vee. But again, you have to be ready. You've got to be willing to put in the work. You must have the right mindset and the right heart set to be able to do it. So Vee, back to you. All right. So what's next for Insight to Marketing? Where are we going next? So you've
Well,
been in the UK and you've done some work, I think, in Dubai or UAE,
yeah, Caribbean,
and you've
Caribbean
gone
and
over to the
Europe.
Caribbean.
Yeah,
So where's next for you? Now that we've had the fallout of Brexit,
yeah.
um, what's next for Insight to Marketing?
Well, I can tell you officially because it's going to be announced this week, but I have an app that's launched. So the Insight to Marketing app is what's next. And of course, you've seen the rebranded website. So the app is absolutely free to download and it's got lots of tips on there. There are also going to be, for a very small, teeny charge, some downloadable tips as well and planning templates. But you'll be able to get lots of information on there around events, campaign ideas. And for people that do want to pay a little bit more for subscription, they will have access to some exclusive content as well, which will include videos and will also include more downloads and templates that aren't on the public face of the app. So yeah, that's absolutely free. You just have to search Insight to Marketing on the Google Play or App Store.
Oh, great. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
developing an app. Well
Thank
done,
you.
well done. That really is the next stage, isn't it? You've got your business and you've got your services and you've got your courses and so on. Get them all in an app. Make it convenient for people to access them. Well done, Vee.
Yes.
Woo! You're
Thank you.
really blazing.
Thank you.
Really blazing.
Trying.
Oh, no, you're not trying. You're doing it. You are doing it.
Thank you.
Fabulous, fabulous. This is great news. I'm very excited about that. I want to check it out now. I want to check it out. All right. So you've got your app, you've got your business, you've got your services, and you are moving forward.
Yes.
We're coming close to the end of our interview now, and I just want to make sure that we've got everything in that we need to get. So we've covered the fact that you were a teen mom. That didn't stop you. You started your business with £100. That didn't stop you. You were made redundant from a job that you loved, and even though it was difficult, that didn't stop you. You give a lot of things free. That still hasn't stopped you from monetizing your business and making it successful. I mean, if there is one thing that you could change, that if you could go back or change, or if you could say to someone who is at the moment probably in a little bit of a depressive state because they want to start something but they're not quite sure how to turn or where they're going to go, what advice would you give that person, whether it be male, female, or whoever?
That's a really good question. I mean, there's so much advice I could give, but I have to say, certainly in the climate we've been in with the pandemic and we are still in, I would definitely say to someone, don't be in denial. Don't be too proud to ask for help. If you know you need the help, the right help is out there. I personally have a whole YouTube channel packed with content on building your brand, monetizing your brand, getting sponsorship, fundraising. It's all there and it's free. So look for where you can find information. And secondly, don't be in denial. That is the point I want to make. Don't be in denial. So if you know you need help, rather than say staying stuck, actually ask for that help, because then you can move forward. I stayed stuck for 18 months. The first 18 months of my business, Karen, I stayed stuck. And I'm very proud to talk about that, because it was at that point in month 18 when I said, I'm going to now have to dig into my purse, make a few changes in my budget, swap out a few things, and actually invest, because I wanted to level up. And for me, that was a really pivotal point in my business, because I knew I needed the help and I didn't get it. And for the 18 months that I didn't get it, I was not making the money I should have been. I said at the start, my pricing was wrong on all my courses. And that coach that I had was the reason why every year since that initial investment that I made with her, and she's not my coach now, but from that initial investment I made, I saw the benefit of investing in the coach, and I was paying her £99, having just had a baby, and I really wasn't making that much money in my business at that time. But I realized, you know what, V, you need to level up, and to level up, you're going to need to do something different, because if you don't change, absolutely nothing's going to change. You know, there's no genie in a bottle. So it's for me, I would say, don't be in denial. If you need the help, get the help, definitely.
I think it was about 2 days ago on my LinkedIn, I think this was what I put up. If you always do what you've always done, then you'll only get what you've always got.
Absolutely.
So if you want something different, if you're doing stuff and you want something different, then you need to do something different. And it's important that you said that you had to invest in yourself as well, because there are many of us, and let me include myself in that, there are many of us out there that have or had the mindset that, oh, if I go on YouTube, I can get it for free. If I go here, I can get it for free. I can get it for free. I can get it for free. But there's only so much free content that you can have, that you can understand fully and implement it. There are times that you do need to invest in a coach, in a course, in a something, in a piece of equipment, in something, so that you can level up. And the whole point of getting into business is to be successful. Nobody really goes into business just to have a business. The point of getting into business is to be successful. So if you want to be successful, change your mindset, change your budget, have a look and see what it is that you can sacrifice. This is the season of Lent. This is the season of sacrifice. So have a look, see what it is that you can sacrifice. What can you give up for this month that then you can take the monetary value and invest in your business in the coming weeks, in next month, in whenever. So what can you do to take yourself from where you are to where you actually see yourself in the next year, in the next 2 years, in the next 5 years? Yes?
Yes.
Great. Yeah. All right. So Vee, thank you so much for sharing so candidly. Oh my gosh. All right. So we're at the stage now where every one of my guests, they have to answer a curveball question. I'm not sure if I actually shared about this with you.
That's fine.
But because of the type of thinker that you are, here's today's curveball question for you. So in February, NASA landed a rover on Mars.
The car, a rover car?
No, it was a robot. But they called it a rover.
Okay.
It actually took them 7 months. Sorry.
Oh, don't laugh.
That's all right. It's okay. It's fine. So they landed a rover or a bot on Mars. It took them 7 months from the time of leaving Earth to get it up to Mars. Now, if you were a passenger on that robot, what would be the first thing you would want to do on getting to Mars?
Am I on my own?
You are on your own.
I'd want to find a way to communicate with my kids. I definitely want to find a way to communicate with my kids, because as you said that to me, I just thought about when I travel, and even when I just go away for a weekend, I miss my kids so much. I really do. I'm so soppy, but I do. That was a really good question. Yeah, I think I would want to get in contact with my kids. I'd want to find a way. I think I'd just be thinking about them, and then if I couldn't get in touch with them, I'd probably sleep or go out and do some investigation to see what's out there if I could. If there was a way of me kind of exploring.
Yes. Okay. Well, it's interesting that your first thought was to your kids. I think when I asked that question, my first thought was I'd be trying to find a way to turn around and get back home. I
was going to say I'd be looking for the food, but I thought.
Oh my goodness. But your response says that you are a woman of heart, you're a woman of family, that you're a woman of purpose. You've got a purpose, and your initial purpose in life was your children. they
Yeah.
were who you wanted to survive. They were who you wanted to thrive for. So they're your heart. They're pivotal to what it is that you do. And
Yeah.
people that have family at heart are always people that will be giving, that will be genuine. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for someone who is genuine, that will be willing to help, that will, do their best to ensure that you get the right information, that you get the right kind of guidance, get in touch with Vee and work with her. All of her links and so on will be in the comments. They will also be displayed at the end of this episode, but they'll be in the comments, so they'll just be a click. You can just click on the link and you'll be able to get in touch with her. Vee, thank you so very much for being here, and thank you for sharing so openly. I'm looking forward to hopefully working with you again.
Yes.
I'm making some changes and doing some different things. As you can tell, what I'm doing now is very different from what I was doing when we first connected.
Yeah.
So perhaps I'll be.
It's a good thing. It's a good platform that you have here, and I do wish you all the best. That you go strength to strength with it.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.
You're
Great
welcome.
stuff. Thank you. So let me take this opportunity now to say thank you very much to everyone who has watched this episode of KTV. I trust that you have been going through this season of Lent, sticking to what it is that you have made your sacrifices for. This is the Easter weekend, which is going to be coming up. Tomorrow is Good Friday. And I really hope that you have a peaceful, restful, and thoughtful Easter weekend. And we will see you next week for another episode. This is Karen Reestoppin, the accountability coach, telling you please stay safe. Bye for now.